So, my family has a tradition that goes back centuries, which was common historically in our country. When a woman got married, she would bring a bottom drawer filled with her bedding, linen, and clothes, in addition to the dowry her father would give her husband. The women in my family would use this bottom drawer to secure the woman's future. After the engagement was announced, all the women in the family would gather together and make her a quilt. Within each section of the quilt, a family member would hide some money, jewelry, seeds, or anything that could help in the future, in case the woman needed to escape an abusive husband, or they felt a kind on hard times. Although it's not necessary now, my family still continues this tradition as a symbolic way of taking care of the daughters of our family. My brother recently got engaged to his long-term girlfriend. Since she has no close family, after a discussion, it was decided to make her a quilt to welcome her into the family. We planned an engagement party for her and explained the tradition and how during the engagement party, all the women of the family and she would be making the quilt together. She found it amusing, made some scathing remarks about the whole thing, calling it old-fashioned and weird, which upset quite a few of us, including me. In the end, we called it off and decided not to make the quilt. She was upset that she wouldn't get a party and said she still wanted the gifts. I sent her a toaster from Amazon, saying I hoped it was modern enough for her. I had originally planned to hide 300 in my square, but I decided not to, as I didn't see why I should give the big gift for her alone, as an engagement gift, if she was going to be disrespectful. I plan to save my money for the actual wedding gift, which will be for both of them. She's now upset as some other relatives have done similar and sent cheaper gifts or no gifts at all, and has complained to my brother that the family's women are being mean to her. He's embarrassed by how she acted toward a kind gesture from the family but tried to mediate it by saying it would seem odd to anyone not from our family. I don't think I'm the idiot or too petty in this situation, as this is one of the nicest family gifts and gestures I've ever heard of. I love to sew, and this would be an amazing way to get to know my in-laws. Can I be a part of your family? Oh, I don't want the gifts, but I'd be tickled with every shade of pink to spend time quilting with family. And no, you're not the idiot at all. I would do the same. Maybe I wouldn't have bothered to get her anything personal, as a lot of old-fashioned traditions are just weird and irrelevant in this day and age. In this day and age, but not this one. It is so sweet and practical, kind and real. I'm so sorry she turned her nose up at such a kind welcome. The dollar amount isn't the issue here. Something like this means a lot. You're not being petty. You're giving her exactly what she felt she was worth. Heck, maybe your brother needs the emergency escape quilt. Everyone's the idiot here. I would find it disconcerting to receive a wedding gift based around being abused or falling on hard times. Isn't that the expectation of your brother? That he'll abuse her or make her destitute? It feels like a really bad omen. That said, many others seem to like the idea. So I suppose it's an individual opinion, like any other gift. A gift is about the recipient, not the giver. I had the same thought. Everyone's saying what an amazing, thoughtful gift it is. I don't think it's amazing or thoughtful to have the assumption that my new husband is going to abuse me. Like, oh, this is so sweet. I'd be so thrilled and touched if my soon-to-be mother-in-law sewed a nail file into a quilt in case I needed to saw my way out of handcuffs to escape her abusive son. Jesus, I'd be very put off by that idea. And it would make me question what the heck goes on within this family. My mom and stepdad had to go see my grandparents because of some emergency. So it was just me, a 19-year-old female, my twin siblings, preteen males and females. I had planned on inviting 2 friends, and my parents said I still could, so they came. One of my friends brought her boyfriend, Mike. I usually don't mind, the more the merrier, but I'm not a fan of him. He's kind of an idiot and blames it on his autism. But I don't know. I'm not really educated on all that. Once my sister was playing in their playroom, but my brother was bored and wanted attention. He's really into having abs and muscles and being strong right now, and he does gymnastics and all that. So he was doing cartwheels and stuff till he got a little dizzy. He sat on my lap and started showing me his arms and asked if his muscles had gotten bigger. He's young, so he still has little arms. But I said, oh my gosh, they're totally getting bigger. I randomly interrupted to say, nah man, you got noodle arms. My brother didn't really catch what he said, so he just brushed him off, but I was upset, so I discreetly told him to stop. But Mike was all like, what? I'm just telling the truth. He has to do much more than that to get some real muscles. Noodle arm kid. I reminded him that my brother is young, but he said his age is irrelevant here. My brother then decided to show us another gymnastics move. I think it's a round off, but he did it, and we all clapped for him except, of course, Mike. He went, that was anticlimactic. An offense, but this is the most unimpressive kid ever. Get out of here with your skinny butt. I was honestly so angry at this point that I sarcastically said, I'd like to see your fat butt try to do what he did. He immediately got upset, and his girlfriend gasped as if I said something outrageous. What was her horror when her boyfriend was insulting my kid brother? But Mike got all up in my face about being a witch before leaving. His girlfriend told me that I went too far, especially since I know he has autism, and that she can't believe I fat-shamed him when he isn't even fat. Besides, he isn't wrong, and your brother's annoying. My other friend that was there told me that she thought he was rude, but I did too much. Am I the idiot? Nope, not the idiot at all. Good on you for defending your brother from that bully. Signed, an autistic person who knows autism is not a free pass to be an idiot without consequences. Also, your friend who's dating Mike is not being a good friend to you right now. I'd suggest distancing yourself from her. You deserve better friends. Me too. Although I'm high functioning, have thoughts you think, and then there are things that you say. It can be too direct as well, but I put in effort to not be an idiot and hold my tongue, especially towards children, even though I don't like to be around them. This Mike is weaponizing his autism as a free pass to be an idiot. People like him give us all a bad name. Funny how he's autistic enough to not understand how he's being a bully to a kid, but as soon as you throw it back at him, he's immediately offended and eager to call you a witch. This isn't his autism. He's using that as an umbrella to avoid all consequences that would follow from being a total idiot. If any of my friends said anything like that to my brother, I would promptly remove them from the premises and let them know they were never invited near me and my family again. Us calling a kid noodle arms isn't honest. It's mean. Us kids have slender limbs. They're literally growing. What kid have you seen that actually has bodybuilder muscles? They can't do that because that would stunt their growth. I genuinely feel torn about this and would accept whatever verdict I get. I'm using throwaway and fake names for obvious reasons. I have been best friends with Harry all through my childhood and got to know his younger sister Melanie over the years. We were never close, but always polite and friendly. I'm still very close to Harry's family, so I know his sister Melanie is married to a woman, Anna, who is 30 and has a son in kindergarten. I recently started working as an RN in the same hospital as Melanie. She was and always has been polite and friendly. Due to our closeness, a few coworkers asked me where I knew her from, because apparently she's usually much more formal with people. I explained and also mentioned that I was even at her wedding, and she was in mine, as in that's how close we are. Then they asked what her husband did for a living, and I said her wife was an interior designer. Melanie later pulled me aside and asked me not to share any details about her at work. I was genuinely surprised because I didn't share anything personal. She explained that as a girly-looking orthopedic surgeon, she's already behind all the old men she works with by a long shot, and that knowing about her orientation will only make her work life about Pixacrail being teased and joked about by these jerks. I said if she thought this would be a big problem, she should have warned me beforehand, and I would absolutely not have mentioned anything. It's especially weird because she's been married for 10 years and has a kid. She said she expected me to know better after 25 years, but was sadly disappointed. I'm still trying to figure out what I did here. I had no idea. My coworkers are mostly nice people. Most of them are on my side, but some think I shouldn't have talked about Melanie at all. Was I indeed the idiot? You are the idiot. Am I reading this right? You shared her orientation. That's incredibly personal. But some think I shouldn't have talked about Melanie at all. After she's already asked you not to talk about her, you went back to all your colleagues and discussed this conversation with them to get their opinion. Are you still talking about her? Exactly. Further outing her to multiple people after she was directly asked not to, and framing yourself as the victim to boot. You outed Melanie to one coworker, and now apparently many, if not all, of your coworkers are gossiping about her lifestyle. You're too old to pretend to be naive about what happens if you out someone. Dude, you messed up. Then compounded your mistake by discussing the matter of her orientation behind her back with other people, whose opinions of her being out or not don't matter at all. Just like your opinion of her choice to reveal or not reveal doesn't matter at all. That choice is hers and none of your business. Get a clue? I suspect you'll keep running your mouth about other people's business. My 25-year-old brother, let's call him Rick, and his wife told me that my niece is starting to think about boys. I told them I think it's cool that Emily feels comfortable talking to them about that kind of stuff. When they revealed that she actually does not, but they know because they read her diary. I was a little shocked. I told them I thought that was really messed up. We got into an argument that ended with Rick ultimately saying, "It's my kid. DSUI perchik." To the Kryptonians, that while she's under my roof, I reserve the right to know everything that's going on. They also said I was telling them how to parent when I don't have my own kids. While they have a point in my gut, I think it's wrong to invade someone's privacy to an extent, even if it's your own kid. But Emily doesn't know that they read her journal. I know I shouldn't tell her, but I'm looking for a loophole. Am I the idiot if I privately gave her a diary with a lock, or maybe found a sneaky way to tell her to hide her diary? I assume they also want to know when she had her first time, or worse, be there. I tell her to keep a diary online and a password-protected journal. But locked paper journals are still very easy to break into. Officers or buy her a lockbox for precious things, such as a diary, more secure than a paper one. Years ago, we gave a locked diary to my stepson, and his mother just broke the lock. Her control issues with him got worse. He ended up moving in with us full-time. Up's niece doesn't have that luxury, but you need to tell your niece what's going on. It's like your niece can easily turn into the ones who sneak around, lie and hide everything they do because their parents don't trust them. My childhood best friend was one of them. He would lie to his folks when the truth would have served him better, just on principle. He moved out on his 18th birthday and never looked back. Maybe his experience colors my answer, but having now seen it from the point of view of a parent too, I think that at some point and under normal circumstances, you have to let go and trust that they're teaching your kids right. Kids need their privacy and parents need to give it to them. And I think you're not the idiot if you helped your niece in that direction. That's more than giving her a journal. Update. Am I the idiot if I give my niece a private lockable journal, since my brother told me he and sister-in-law read her diary? Hello everyone. I've read all the responses, and I'm grateful for every suggestion. Some of you won't agree, but I've decided to just go about this the sneaky way. I ordered a lockbox that looks exactly like a book. She has loads of books and trinkets, so it'll be easy to disguise. I'm going to put a new diary in it and give it to her for her birthday. I won't say a word, and hopefully she'll figure it out. Put a new diary and a nice pen inside along, with a note that tells her this box is her secret and it's for anything she wants to keep private. I truly believe she'll get the hint. I've decided not to tell her outright, but if she asks me why I got her this gift, I'll tell her a story about a friend whose diary was read. I'll give it to her the next time I pick her up from school, so she can just put it in her bag with her other books. This may be overkill, but I've also ordered a book on how to make your own secret code or cipher. And the next time I spend time with her, I'm going to suggest we come up with the code as a fun activity and see if she'll be interested. I plan to approach my brother and sister-in-law and explain to them exactly why I think what they did was wrong. And I may show them this post if some of you had very good responses that were better than what I could come up with. Cheers! Oop, you don't need to make up a story about a friend whose diary was read behind their back. I tried twice in my teens to keep a diary, and both times, my mom read it and laughed at what was written. I only found out because my dad told me. He had very strong boundaries when it came to privacy. The other time I tried, my sister found my diary and also laughed at the contents. 30 years later, I'm still angry. I never shared my writing with my family. Mom and sister also laughed at my teenage poetry. Lecture again, even after making full marks in literature at school or winning the creative writing competition 2 years running, diaries are sacred. Tell her now. When I, a 32-year-old male, met my girlfriend 7 years ago, I learned she had custody of her little cousin, Laura, who was a tween. I've always been very accepting of her. She's an incredible little girl, and I love her very much. My girlfriend and I have 2 kids, a female kindergartner and a male toddler, and I recently planned a trip to my parents with them to spend some father-kids time and also for my parents to spend some grandparents-grandchild time. My girlfriend was fine with it until I told her I wasn't taking Laura. She asked why, and I answered that I wanted to spend some time alone with our kids, and my parents were very excited to meet their grandson and thought this was the perfect opportunity. After that, a heated conversation ensued, but my girlfriend eventually dropped it. I told my parents about my plans, and they're not happy with it either, saying that it's unfair to exclude Laura from the trip. But I'm currently struggling to see how it's unfair to want some alone time with my children and for my parents to see their grandchildren. I was hoping I could get some others' perspectives. Am I the idiot? Add-in. Laura was a toddler when my girlfriend gained custody of her. My girlfriend said she's not bringing Laura because she wants her to spend some time with her own father. I didn't know that before, and I feel terrible for not realizing it. I'm going to talk to my girlfriend about it and make sure Laura is included in some way during our trip, even if it's just for a day. She said she's not coming either. Laura won't be staying alone. You got the other perspective from your parents? They made it clear Laura should be included. They're not worried about alone time with the grandkids. Why are you? This should be a non-issue if you love Laura the way you claim to. If you want a future with your girlfriend and the bio kids, you better adjust your thinking regarding your girlfriend's oldest child. Because that's what Laura is. Yeah, Laura isn't just someone visiting your home for a couple of weeks. She's a child that your girlfriend is parenting. You've been in this child's life for 7 years and don't see an issue with leaving her behind for the visit. You're the problem in this situation, and I wonder how you treat her in your home. My only hope is that if Oak goes through with this awful plan, Laura and his girlfriend change the locks while he's away. You're such an idiot that you've even stunned your own parents with your idiotic way of thinking. Kudos to you. As know this decision will blow up your family.